want to get back to Jules because her story is just extraordinary. Her RTS is 20%. Tonight she tells me it's like 48. I mean, she's just really, really cool at teaching her guests how to recreate the creation, teaching them what she's doing and what she's using. I'm going to leave that to her. But the story is that I'm going to bring her in because I want her to talk a little bit about what her life was like before she got changed by all this transformational knowledge, what happened to her, and what her life is now. Marty Hunt, good to have you. Yeah, Jules Molina's in the house, so let's get her on the horn right now. How you doing?
I'm good.
I heard you had a big night.
Yes.
Tell us what kind of night you had, Jules, so that people watching, because you just finished working all day long.
Yeah, so today was a 12-hour day with myself and my associate, and we had 100% pre-book. Our average ticket was $139, and our retail to service was $41.09.
Oh, you're crushing it. You're crushing making big boom booms. Well, listen, you're here tonight to talk about your story, and I want you in a nutshell to give our viewers what your life was like before you showed up in school and how it all changed for you, and then we'll talk about what happened and what it's like now. So get us going.
Yeah, so my life before, Summit Salon Academy, T-Spa as well. And so before that, it was really adventurous, but I was a good student, really trying to just do well. And I started doing an STNA, so as a home health aide. And I decided that I wanted to go in and start doing hair. And when that started happening, I went into school and I fell in love with numbers. And now I'm here.
Well, when you and I were chatting before, you said there was something about going to school and the one-on-ones and the whole planning and the tracking and the power wheel. Something happened to you. It touched you profoundly, and you almost got obsessive about it.
Yes. So I got totally obsessed with tracking and numbers and just growing my business. And it became my little addiction. Being able to control everything that I wanted to control and just following the system. Just go and trust the process.
And then you said that as you were growing, like you were hanging out with people that you've been hanging out with a long time, and you were just in a different place. So, it's almost like what Randy Kunkel says, we have lifelong friends we haven't even met yet. So you started stepping up your life.
Yeah. My first day of school, I met Michael Cole there at my school, and that was crazy. Yeah. And Denise Soto, who's a huge mentor of mine, bless her soul. And basically, I started falling in love with everything, who's who in the zoo, drinking the Summit juice, until those were the people I wanted to become. And then I just stalked you.
Well, I remember coming and visiting you that day, and it was a big day, and life had continued to change for you. And then all of a sudden, you graduate. I think you told me, you graduated in, was it 2010?
Yeah.
And then you start working at Zoto's, yes?
Yeah. Yep. I graduated in 2010. I started working at Soto Signature Salon and Spa in Perrysburg, Ohio, as an associate. And then I just learned the system. I grew really fast, four levels in 4 years.
I mean, yeah, it was like lightning. You just went through the level system at Mach 2, Mach 3, Mach 4, Mach 5. And then you were given an opportunity to work at Summit. Talk a little bit about what that's like for you now.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to work with Summit Salon Business Center. Christy Valenzuela is one of my mentors. She showed up at one of our salon company events and taught a class, and I fell in love with that. And so then I pursued that career with Summit Salon Business Center. And now I'm working with Summit Salon Business Center, and I'm a team leader for the front desk division now.
Oh, it's awesome. Now I'd like to spend a little bit of time tonight talking about your best practices around social media, because you really have taken it up a notch. And before we do that, I'm going to pull up your social media page on the screen so that people see that as you're taking us on a tour. So talk to us about what you're doing these days in social.
So my social media game has really changed. The conversation is completely different now. I've really only been drinking this juice for, I would say, probably like 4 months now, really playing full out. And I'm doing tons of videos now. My associate she's my right-hand man. She's my partner in crime. And so my associate is actually doing a lot of the videos that I'm doing, and we're adding music, and it's almost becoming more of an experience with our clients now. Doing video with them and having them a part of the whole journey, and then tagging them to it, showing them the video before they leave if it's complete. Videos have been like a huge game changer for myself as well as my associate, so that she can learn the best practices too and start growing her business.
Now, I just want the group tonight to really see what you're doing on Instagram. So I'm showing you your Instagram. I don't know if you can see this on my screen, but as you guys can see, Jules has got 717 followers. Her work is amazing. A lot of her posts now not only include before and afters, but videos that you're doing. So tell us a little bit. I want the audience to really have an appreciation of how many times a week are you posting?
So I'm posting just about every single day. I'm trying to post at least twice a day if possible. And so I would say at least 5 to 6 times a week for sure.
And then you were telling me that in a typical week, you will select maybe 10 or 12 guests. They're higher ticket guests, they're full service guests, and you're really taking pictures of them. 4 or 5 pictures sets per guest. So you do the math on that. That's like 40, 50 pictures a week. Talk a little bit about when that happens and what your guest's experience is as you engage them, because that's a whole new piece of the Chairside Manor.
Yeah, so the first thing that I do with them is when we talk about our consultation, creating their look for them and what they're looking to have, I ask them at that point, how would you feel about having me take a video or take some images of your befores and afters so that I can use that as my business portfolio? So that's the key word right there, is my business portfolio. And that really is the gateway to be able to ask them, can I tag you and will you follow me on that? And they're so excited because I'm using the word my business portfolio. So I'm not just doing this for kicks and giggles, but this is like a business.
So at the end, when you show them the after pictures, how many of them are going, oh, I want that, and can I have that, and how do I make that happen?
Yeah, so I would say probably at least 50% of them ask if I will send them the picture that I just took, and I actually let them pick out the picture that they want, and then I'll just text it over to them, and then I'll tag them too, so they'll have it on their Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, and then we were chatting a little bit that the referrals that you have coming to you now, they're seeing your work on Instagram, bringing pictures of your work in on their mobile devices and saying that because of this picture, I'm here, and oh, by the way, can you create something like this on me?
Yeah, and so that's exactly like Instagram and Facebook have really become my lookbook. And I don't know, I guess I look at it as there's no bigger honor than to have my own imagery with not filters on it, but like the real deal, stuff that I did, as my portfolio now.
So, I mean, social media is continues to be a big thing, and you're one of the people that are driving it. What do you have to say about hairdressers that are out there that are just, for whatever reasons, they're intimidated by it? I'm afraid to show my work because I might not get likes, and I'm embarrassed, and I'm not sure about the photography. Is that something that you had to walk through?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I definitely had to get into the conversation. I was so afraid of doing it. But the one thing that I think I really held on to was the fact that if I'm going to be a leader, I can't ask my team nor my associate or people around me to do something that I won't do myself. And so that really was the fuel for me, was like, I can't ask these younger stylists to do something that I don't believe in or I don't do. That's just creates a lot of hypocrisy. So I had to start with me first before I could do anything else, you know?
Right.
But I was fearful for sure.
Well, you must be hitting it out of the park, girl, because I got my granddaughter Amelia that's coming on and saying, Grandpa, she's killing it, man. She's killing it. She's making big boom boom. All right. Well, listen. Before going off though, you're in a place that 28. You're late 20s. You're in a place that many people will go through a 30-year, 40-year career and not get to the place that you're at within your first decade. So for those people that are just starting out, maybe those people that are actually sitting in the seats that you're sitting in when you were in school, and they're like scared, they're not sure. In a nutshell, what could you say to them that might give them hope?
Trust the process. Live in the possibility. Live in the possibility that you could be amazing and that you are going to be great at it. You're going to fail, but at least if you fail, like my mentor shared with me all the time, fail forward. Live in the possibility, like seriously, and just do it.
And before I say goodbye, I want you to tell the story that there was this definable moment with you and Denise, rest her soul, where there was a piece of paper on the table. Tell the piece of paper story.
So this was kind of my jumping off the ship moment. And Denise Soto, who is my mentor, and no longer here, but she had a huge moment in my life that changed me. She had a piece of paper on the table, a white piece of paper. And then she said, this is your life right now. And this is what your life could be and will be. And it was like the whole table. So for me, I was so small and tiny as day 2 beauty school. And then it became that entire table in 7 years or so.
Yeah, and I want the audience that's watching. I knew Jules when she was a student. I was actually in the school during her stay, and I spent the day with the students, and so I was with Jules before you were rich and terribly happy, right? and have stood witness to her growth. So what you brought to the table tonight, I think, is not only vision, but it's inspirational. So on behalf of all of our buds, I want to thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time, and Godspeed, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Michael.
Give it up for Jules one more time, will you? Stay well, my friend. All right, so there you have it. Just in case you missed it, I don't know what your take on this was, Tiffany, but I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks, Jules. That's what you're saying that to Jules, and she'll see this. But I watched Jules do her deal over the last several years, and whether she's standing behind the chair, serving guests, teaching guests how to, recreate the creation, taking before and after pictures, posting and pioneering on Instagram, and now she's using video as well as still shots. She goes out, and she really is the type of person I would call this conversation living the dream. So best practices are, getting going with Instagram. Bring your mobile device in the consultation and use it as your digital lookbook. As you'll find now, your guests are doing the same. Once you get clear on, what the paintings you're going to do, the designs you're going to do, walk them over to wherever you're going to walk them. Take the before picture, do the work, take the after, post it, and you're going to find that as that becomes more and more of your chairside manner, the dynamite will